Alright, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to American Truck Simulator. Today we have a build and drive and we are featuring KiShadoWalker's F700, and a lot of people say F700 slash Brockway because they were very similar in models. Some differences in the wiring and instrumentation and dashboard and everything like that, but they had a lot of similarities. And it's not even that uncommon to see a lot of people try to restore one with the other, though you have to do a little bit of adapting. But that is why I was confused on this too. That is why you see this as an F700, but at the same time you see that we have this Brockway, and that is an option for a grill as we are going to walk through. So yeah, two parts to this video. We're going to do the build so you see all the options inside and out. And then we're going to take a short drive, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I pretty much have it set up with how I like to design it. I'm a little partial to the green, obviously, but I went, instead of having a white background, I actually went with black this time. We can go ahead and start off with the paint jobs, and I'll go through a lot of these different ones right here so you can see. So these are just kind of default that come with the truck. These custom paint jobs that came with the truck as well. I'm just going to scroll through a few of these so you get ideas. A lot of these, if not all of them, have 3 color, 4 color changes on them. So you pretty much are just looking for the design and the overall geometric shape of all the lines and stuff like that, and then you can go ahead and customize to your heart's content. Here's some other ones, your typical metallics and standard colors. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, there's a few more up here that I missed. Clean trucking, overnight, and it's just United. Okay, never mind. I thought I was looking for like a bigger name right here, but I have a couple here actually from Richard Brown. I don't think there's a ton in here. So when looking at a day cab, you get a couple of them. Here's this, you got the Carolina Freight carriers all faded like that. But if you go over and you make it a standard, then we can get a few more skins in here. So let's go ahead and start at the top. This is if you get the Richard Brown skin pack that comes with it. I'll just scroll through these so you can get an idea. A lot of people like to see what skins are available for it, and that is kind of an indicator of whether or not they are looking to get the truck or not. It's usually not a make or break thing, but I'll just scroll through these and all of the different cabs. This one is unique right here, McDonald's Transport. It is unique to the exclusive cabin. Yeah, again, that Carolina looks like it's in all forms. So yeah, that's the cabins. You've got the day cab, the exclusive, and the standard. So the standard is basically the exclusive is basically the standard plus that little top shelf there. Looking at the chassis, you've got a couple different options, short and long. So this is the 6x2 short. We've got the 4x2 short, got the 6x2 long, and you've got the 4x2 long. That just looks weird to me. I don't know. Is that a normal thing? Maybe I'm just always used to seeing like a 6x2 or a 6x4 or something like that. I don't know. It's just, it's different. That's for sure. Engine and transmission, we're not really going to be talking about it too much, although I will mention that I am going with, for the drive portion, Steel Productions. It's a 1981 E6, 350 horsepower, and the transmission is going to be Fury 6's Maxitorque 9-speed. And I'll go over the shift pattern if you guys are interested. As always, time stamps down in the description. If you're not interested in a particular part, just go on to the next part. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the inside. And just wanted to point something out. A lot of people know about KiShadoWalker's 352, and so a lot of people start to draw references to that when they're talking about other KiShadoWalker trucks. And I will to a certain extent, but note that when I say that I'm comparing it to the 352, and I mentioned that compared to the 352, this is missing things, it doesn't mean that I'm talking trash about this truck. All right? Just A lot of people know and have that reference to the 352, so it's important to make that point, but it doesn't mean that I don't like the truck. It doesn't mean things are missing. That being said, compared to the 352, we do have a few less options on the inside. I'm not worried about it. Don't be upset. It's still a great truck. Bought it with my own money. Full disclosure, really like it. In all honesty, I've been looking at it for quite a while. So in terms of this interior styling, this is where you're going to do all the styling. For those familiar with the 352, you can go into the nodes and the accessories, and there's a whole bunch of different panels in here that you can customize, side panels, roof panels that you can customize the color. You do all that through this main interior style node here. So we've got black. I'll just go ahead and scroll through these things. Now there's two versions of black. What's going on here? Oh, so we can see on the sides. So this is going back to that original tufting. And then we see we've got it in blue in the two styles, brown in the two styles. Oh, skipped one, red in the two styles, tan and teal. We've got a few more here. White and wine. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it. I think did I have it on teal? No, I had it on black, I think. But I like, instead of these straight lines here, I like the tufting. I'm probably going to stick with that. Okay, so we have our style down. Now, what about the accessories for inside? First one we want to look at is the steering wheel, and we have a couple different classic ones. We've got this black 3-spoke. We've got a brown version, a white version, and then we have this other classic look. Kind of reminds me of something that was coming out of the Mack R. Black and a brown version as well. No white version with that. And then your other steering wheels, whatever DLCs that you have on board. This node over here will give you either a cell phone or your GPS unit. That is for the outside. We'll talk about that later. This is, I believe, the only node for the GPS. Yeah, it is. Might as well hit mirrors while we're in here. And I always like to make reference to this one. This one is always super easy to look at, but this one, not so much. So I've gone with a chrome and paint, as you can see, but I'll go through some of the other options here. We've got aluminum, aluminum chrome, and you know what, for right now, because I don't think that they have any options that actually change the style of the mirror. I think you're just talking about different materials and colors, so let's go ahead and look at them here since it's easier. Aluminum plus chrome, aluminum and paint, chrome, chrome and aluminum, chrome plus paint, paint, paint aluminum, paint chrome. That's so many options. Like, that's probably one of the most robust lineup of customizations to mirrors without changing the style. So you can really make it exactly how you want to look. In terms of the panels, so you got a couple different options. You can go either with the wood or the plastic. So you can, this is the panel portion, and this right here is the dashboard. So I could do the inverse of what I'm doing. These both have black and brown on them. I'll go back to the other way too. We'll make that black, and we'll make the panels wood. Kind of like the way that looks. Dashboard sets. You've got a bag sitting over there on the passenger side. This is your mirrors as well. No note in here for like a CB radio or anything. We do have like a little radio going on here, but no CB radio. This is just the visor, which we'll look at on the outside, and that's just hanging items. We got the American flag there. That may be pretty much everything for the inside. Some of this stuff is on the outside as well. Oh, we can do something back here if we wanted to throw in a pillow or something. Up to you guys. We'll do the American flag again. Oh, a couple more nodes here. See, I usually don't pay attention to this back here. Let's go ahead and do square blanket. And we'll throw up a hockey stick, because why not? So that is the interior options. And obviously we've got this extra tall section here. That's why we can see through these windows here. But if we want to switch it back, let's go ahead and go back to the day cab. And I do like the day cab because it's nice, especially when you're orienting yourself with a truck and how the mirrors are and everything. It's good to be able to see a little bit through the back. And now that I think about it, I don't really like that. On the inside, I think I'm going to have to go with the black tufting. Yep, that's the way we want it to be. So that's pretty much the interior of the truck. Like I said, some fewer nodes than you would normally get with a 352. Again, not to compare it just to the 352, just a reference point. I still think that even though it doesn't have nearly as many nodes, oh, and I almost forgot one, you can also do the gauges. You want them chrome, or you want them to be this black plastic. I tend for the black plastic. That is just my little thing. All knobs and switches are animated in here, and they work just fine. So let's go ahead and go out to the last thing, which is probably going to take us the most time, and that is the exterior accessories. And as we scroll through the bumpers, I'm just going to go ahead and show you a couple examples. There's tons of different shapes and sizes and materials. In terms of lights, you pretty much get either what's given to you or you have no lights on the bumper. There aren't any options here for you to really drill in. I believe that's correct. I was just making sure there wasn't an additional node for lights. But yeah, this isn't one of the bumpers that you're looking at if you're looking to customize and put in your custom lights. It's pretty much, I mean, they give you tons of variation though in all these shapes and materials. So I don't see anything wrong with that. Of course, personally, as you guys may know by now, I don't like spending the time to put in 20 or 30 lights. I'd like them to just give me like a template. That's why I threw in something like this on mine. It gives it a little bit of extra flair, and these actually light up with the high beams as well as your second set of lights. All right, let's work our way up. A lot of different options here for these headlights too. I'm just going to click through them. Double paint, double white, single black plus blinker. That's kind of interesting. Single black plus blinker. There's another version of it. Single paint, paint plus blinker. There's another variation of this now. Okay, so it's just doing the textures here. Got those horizontal lines, or it's just flat. That's kind of cool. Single white, white plus blinker, and here is another texture. Double black, double paint, double white, single black, single white, or single paint, and single white. So tons of different options. You can customize it any way you want. In terms of the grill, this is kind of what I was talking about before, where these first couple options are for the Brockway, aluminum, chrome, and paint. You also get it in white, and then you can get a stock one, and all of a sudden the Mack appears there once you take the Brock away from there. Again, two distinctive trucks, two distinctive companies, but they were very similar, and over time people have basically associated them as two variations of the same truck, and that's why it's included with this Brockway in this F700. A little bit confusing at first, especially on forums and the Steam Workshop. People are talking about it, and they're referring to the Brockway, and I can't find the Brockway. I'm searching for it on KiShadoWalker's site. Come to find out later that they're talking about the same truck, because I was looking at a truck and I was like, hey, that kind of looks like the Mack, but it said Brockway. Same thing. And it's not exactly labeled too clear on KiShadoWalker's site. It's just kind of one of those inside things you need to figure out. Let's go ahead and move on here. We have an ornament. We can do the Bulldog in chrome, in silver, or in gold. And I realize that's probably a little bit harder to see, so let me get a little bit closer here for you. Gold, silver, and chrome. We also have this. This is kind of unique. I haven't seen this on too many other trucks. The only one I've seen it on is that comes close to it is the Western Star 6900 by Beaumont Performance, and it's this little stone guard, this little netting that goes up and I guess protects your windshield. It's a little distracting, to be honest, on the inside, but maybe it's one of those things where if you drive it for a while, you just kind of get used to it. We already took a look at all the mirrors, but we can take a look at the sun visors. A few options here. We've got one version of the paint, another version of the paint. Oh, and you got the name going across there. A couple white versions of it. basically the same thing as the paint. Aluminum in the 2 versions, chrome in the 2 versions, and that's what you get for the sun visors. Pretty typical the way it's laid out here. Your cab lights, got a couple different options there. And I never mind this because it's only like 5 or 6 lights. The horns, you can go through and get your normal array of, ooh, even the $1 million horn. I actually tried that. It sounds a little bit weird. Not a huge fan of that one. So we're gonna I'm just gonna go ahead and go with this super roar. Doesn't sound too bad at all. So those are your horns, your cabin lights, and then if you rotate around, we've got a bug deflector. It looks a little weird. Looks a little like out of place. Like I don't know. Like you see these domes normally, like you see them on a lot of cabovers, like the K100 for example. But this kind of looks like a sheet of like sheet metal that they just kind of threw in last minute, and I don't know. It looks a lot different than some of these other things. Not to mention that they call it a bug deflector. That's a little weird. The exhaust here, we have a few different options. I'm just going to go ahead and scroll through these in all these variations in aluminum. And then you have the same variations or similar variations in their chrome, where you get a single. Let me see. There's 3 different options of them. Here's your of a single, and then you have a double aluminum. Nope. So some of these things I'm not going to be able to do because I already am. Because I would have to change the air filter on them. Single aluminum. Lots of different options on this. But once you get that set, then you can talk about your intake, which is right here. And you can get them in lots of different shapes and sizes and materials. And obviously you can do a double version of this as well with the air filter. Go ahead and throw in a double like I had before. Pretty cool. The doorstep here, you can get it in aluminum or chrome. Front mud flap. I chose not to go with it myself. I thought it looked a little funky myself. So it's got this plastic part and then the actual flap. And the only thing that changes is the plastic part. The flap itself doesn't change in terms of a design. But I always like the opportunity to have either paint on the straps and chrome on the tank or vice versa. And you can easily do that here. They even have a square version of it. And I believe there's another node. Yep, where you can do the straps. You can get that in chrome, aluminum, stock, or painted. Not sure why you'd want to do that in painted. Usually you get a contrast. The frame, we can do it in black. Paint, or we can do it in red. That's kind of cool. I believe there's a node for the trailer cables. Yep, there it is. So you have your standard. We've got a recessed box, and then you've got a raised box. So lots of different options there. Rear fenders, let's go through them. You got black. You have 4 different versions of the chrome. Obviously, it's going to depend on how many axles you have right there. Actually, there's a couple more chrome here that I forgot about. Kind of like those. And then a couple variations of the paints. So you can throw on there any different option that you want to. And then in the back, no options for lights or anything. It's pretty much just for the flaps. But quite a few, so I'll just scroll through them real fast. Kind of like that one. That one's interesting. Maybe it's just because of the color, because it's a paint. A lot of things were throwing me off that I hadn't seen before because I didn't have the screen, or I didn't have the skin on. So going through and whenever I see the paint version of it, kind of throws me off a bit. Tons of different options there. I'm going to spin around. I don't think I'm missing too much. You got fenders, you got tanks, you got straps. You got these fenders. Obviously, do whatever you want with the tires and wheels. But yeah, quite a few options that you can customize on this, and we haven't even touched, obviously, doing it in exclusive or doing it in standard. I think my next build will probably be something with standard, but the one thing that I probably will do, I gotta be honest with you, I'm probably gonna go ahead and take this stone guard away. I like the whole shape of this windshield though, especially when you throw on the visor. Looks really cool. So whether you're got it set up as a Mack or you got set up as a Brockway, it's basically, you know, the same type of truck. Very distinct differences if you actually know the two, and they are two different brands obviously, but they've kind of been conflated together, and that's what you get in this model. It is kind of nice for those who are fans of the Mack 700 and fans of the Brockway that you can kind of do 2-in-1, because I don't know if there's any other modder that is making a Brockway cabover, so that's pretty cool. Overall, like the truck. I've already driven it probably 5 or 6 times, and I just got it yesterday. So, and enjoying it, and let me show you what she looks like out on the road. Let's go take a drive. Alright, so we have a load going on here. We are in Beaumont, Texas, and we're going to go down to Longview, and we're coming from the General Mills with 41,895 pounds of Pilsbury all-purpose flour and headed to the Walmart Logistics Center, again in Longview. Let's go ahead and get her fired up. And every now and then you're going to see the screen do that. It jumps a little bit. That's me hitting a button so that I take away my track IR so that I'm not scanning around like this and making you guys so sick. I'm trying to get in the habit of doing it, but if it looks weird, that's what's happening. See, as I'm moving my head around, nothing's happening. Alright, go ahead and get the parking lights on and get her fired up. There we go. Let's go ahead and get our wipers on. And look around the cab here. Now that I got the, probably going to need stage 2 here. By the way, the rotary knob that I have going on here, this rotary encoder for these windshield wipers, absolutely love it. Rather than hitting buttons to cycle through, you can just adjust them up, adjust them down. If you guys want any explanation on that, and how I hooked it up for the USB encoder, I'm not going to go through it right now because we already did the build part, and we got to get ourselves down the road on a drive. Make sure our headlights are on. They should be. They're indicating on. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'll repeat it again here. Steel Productions E6, 350 horsepower. Transmission is Fury 6's Maxitorque 9-speed, and we have a 3.7 differential in it. Let's go ahead and get rolling. Got our 4-ways on. And I'll kind of make this available for you so you can see all the different gears that I'm going through. We're starting out in low. We got 3 low gears. So it goes upper left is first, bottom left is second, middle, top is 3rd low. And then you pull up the plunger here, go to the upper range, and then you've got 6 highway gears. That's basically what we're working with here. Probably get into the 3rd here. Well, a little bit longer so we can get that trailer around there. It is a 53-foot version. By the way, I did want to show you, I almost forgot, one of the reasons why I love to run this trailer. Let's go ahead and hit the brake here for a second. This is Dro Modding's 3000R, and one of the things that I like about it is if I detach the trailer, all of a sudden the back end opens up and we can actually see the cargo. So we are in fact running with Pillsbury, and it's only a little bit less than 42,000 pounds, so it's not even filling the entire trailer. Gotta love that. By the way, if you enable the console, you can just move forward a few feet, drop the truck down, and it automatically couples again. you know it's coupled because it's closed in the back. So pretty cool little thing going on there. Love Dro Modding's trailers. Big fan. Just kind of sad I didn't know about them earlier. Oh, yeah, we do want to leave that. I'll leave that up so you can see all the gears that I'm going through. Don't see anything coming. No interior light on this. I can't remember if you had one on 352 or not, but so up to the high range. And by the way, first, whether you're talking about in the low gears or the highway gears, starts in the upper left. It's one of the only transmissions I know that does that other than a car, where you start in the upper left-hand position, because that's normally reverse. Reverse is there also, but you have to go, the only reverse works when you have the splitter forward. All of the low gears and high gears are done with the splitter back. So that's the little trick about that in this 9-speed Maxitorque from Fury 6. It's only about 42,000 pounds, but it's only a 350 horsepower, so I am starting it out in a low gear. The truck likes it a lot better. Get our four-ways off, we don't need that anymore. So if you are seeing this on the day that I released it, I hope you guys are having a good Thursday. What have you been up to? You guys driving with VTCs? Are you guys driving alone? You guys doing convoys? What's the latest thing that you guys have been checking out? Put it down in the comments. I'm always looking for new things. And one thing that's great about this community is there's so much information out there and updates and new stuff, and you can't, as one person, you can't really find it all. You'd really have to rely on the community to see and find a lot of this stuff. So it helps me a whole lot when you guys leave a comment. I would love to be able to say that I'm here to allow you to see everything. Yeah, I have the brake intensity turned way down. I gotta remember to turn that off. I do that kind of as a challenge to myself, but it doesn't really help in videos, because I also drive a whole lot slower when I just drive by myself. I'm not trying to crank through it or anything like that. But sometimes, if you go at the normal speed, like I'm going to try to keep it at like 8 or 9 miles an hour in a parking lot, you guys might fall asleep on me, and I wouldn't blame you. So I do pump it up a little bit more on the drives, while I'm still trying to keep it a little bit realistic. Yeah, it is taking a minute to slow down, that's for sure. Not a great day for driving. But at least we don't have any fog. Visibility's pretty good, and it looks like if we keep going in this direction, it's going to clear up a little bit. I'm starting to see the sun come out a little bit. As we see the port here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Missed him. Missed him. Look. Yeah, I gotta change the intensity. I'm gonna go do that right now. Alright, I turned it up quite a bit. We're cruising through town here, we can take a look. Tried to match the colors as best I could between the truck and the trailer. It's nothing like brand named or anything. I just like the style, match the colors. Really liking this Mack F700 though. Oh. Hey, wouldn't be a video if I didn't have half a dozen traffic violations. I don't think I turned up the braking intensity nearly enough. I don't even have that much weight in here. What, 42,000 pounds? Anyway. One thing I really like about this engine, it's kind of like the first time I drove the E6 from Slav Jerry. It has a lot of fall off, and this one doesn't have nearly as much, but it does have some decent fall. We're coming out at 2,000, and we're putting it in around 1,400, similar to the Slav Jerry version of it. I like that fall off, where you're not just jamming it straight into the next gear as soon as you come out of gear. I don't see any truck drivers actually doing that on videos, so where they're just jamming it in real fast. It's always like some sort of delay, and this seems a little bit more realistic to me. Whoa. We have the different stages. There's your low. Obviously I'm not going very fast, but just a little bit to assist going down the hill. So just kind of looking. Wish it was a little bit brighter day, and there's don't have any lights in here, but everything seems very high quality. And one thing, of course, I'm going to mention. Look at the visibility on the mirrors. You do have a little bit of obstruction, which was actually, I looked into it, and that is pretty realistic. But it's not like the what is it, John Ruta's Freightliner Classic XL. That one pretty much divides it right in the middle, and you either have to lean back or you got to lean way forward, so it's not too bad. And you can see the concave mirror there pretty good. Yeah, but mirror visibility is really good. Maybe not the best representation of it, but a lot of quality parts in here. You can see the lettering. You can tell it's like a high definition. Let's go ahead and hear some of the Jake. First stage, second stage. There's second stage again. We'll hear it a little bit more when I have to slow down. I would imagine that someday I'm going to be actually hitting a highway. And we'll probably just go ahead and skip ahead to that right now. Alright, well, we are on the highway finally. It's one of those things where you go through the city and it's just a lot of lights, and sometimes when it's set up like that, well, most of the time, at least for me, if you miss one, you miss them all. So it took us a little bit to get through town, and we already transitioned to two different highways after we've gotten on the highway. So yeah, this is when we see the downside of the 350 horsepower, and having the 3.7 differential, it's really good for torque. It gets you going, especially up ramps, even when you have a weaker engine, but you're not going to get much highway speed. That being said, we're only set to, we're set to 75 now. It was 55 a second ago. But we are in our top gear, top highway gear. Let's go ahead and get the wipers off. I really like using the rotary for that. Just slide it all the way to the left and you're good. And it takes up a whole lot less room than two buttons or two switches or whatever. That's definitely the way to do it. It took me a little bit of time to figure that out, and I tried with a whole bunch of different rotary switches, but I got it down now. Drop it down a little bit. That was the actually the high stage. Feels like we're going to be stopping here pretty soon.
Go straight.
Maybe I missed a sign. Usually they have a sign that indicates that there's a signal. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I was just yapping and wasn't paying attention. But if you miss those, that's when you end up going 60 miles an hour down to 10, just like that. Take another look on the outside. Sorry, buddy. I have no idea where I'm going. Got a few tractors there. Yeah, she's pretty slow to get up to speed. That is for darn sure. But she gets it done. It's actually a pretty easy pull, and in my opinion, especially compared to the long nose, the long hoods, it always feels like a cabover is going slower than it really does. Just perception. I don't know if that's just me. Let me know what you guys think. Are we merging? Maybe not. So it's kind of hard to gauge unless you've got one. So we'll just go by the gauge, get a little bit of downhill. Unless they're going to punish us and have us slow down now. Oh, we're not even up to 60. We're good. As we're coming through another town, then they're going to stop us again. Expand the map a little bit. There's 50. Looks like we're still going straight. There's 35. See, that warning for a signal is way too close to the signal. There's no way here, if I'm going full speed, that I'm going to slow down in time, especially if there's already cars piled up. I'd like to see that a little bit earlier. But with the map compacted like it is, kind of makes sense. That's why your on-ramps are like 20 feet long. Guy, thanks, buddy. Pretty sure I had a green. Did I have a green?
The light was green.
If I didn't, let me know. Pretty sure I had it, though. AI, you gotta love them. It's always something new. And because we only have the 9 speeds, I'm all the way up to 2100 RPMs when I do the shift, and then it drops all the way down to 1300. So it feels like you're always just resetting. It takes forever to get up to speed. A little bit frustrating, but you kind of know what you're gonna get yourself into. I drove this with a Maxitorque 12 before I decided to put the 9 in. I decided at the last minute. You know, I've run the 12 a couple times, and like probably 3 times whenever I've been driving Max, but I haven't driven the 9-speed. I think I've only done it like once. Did it with the Mack R. Yeah, and that was with Slav Jerry's E6. So I'm here at 2,000 RPMs, down to 1,300. It just takes all the momentum. It's like you got to get started again. But yeah, I decided let's do the 9-speed Maxitorque this time. But you really feel the difference between those. It's really only the difference in 1 gear, because a 12-speed Maxitorque is 10 highway and 2 low, and not really, the low isn't really a factor when it comes to like highway driving. So it's really only the difference of 1 gear, same horsepower engine and everything, and it behaves a lot differently, as you would expect, not only from different transmissions, but also from the number of gears that you have. Slow down a little bit, anticipate some more AI screwery that's going to happen. Just kind of start to have a sixth sense about these things. You kind of know when they're going to jump out and do something. Had one of those feelings. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Little shot of the outside, and I'm going to catch up with you guys on the crash. Now I'm gonna catch up with you guys on the crash. Yeah, you guys don't need to see this. It's a little funny, but I'll see you when we're getting closer to the drop-off. All right, we are in Longview, as you can see. That Jake really does slow you down in the high version of it. Here's the mid. That's stage 2. Stage 1.
Turn right.
Is that an ice cream truck? I don't think I've seen an ice cream truck in ATS. Have I just been missing them? A lot of cars been pulling out. By the way, probably about 5 minutes after I said I was going to the outside and said I was going to catch up with you guys toward the end here, I got hit by another truck.
Go straight.
I don't know what it is about this thing, but they don't think that I'm, like, part of the road or something. So I got a couple dings in there. You can't tell because it's not modeled. But 2 accidents and 2 traffic tickets, too. Start adding all these up. I don't know how much the fines are for all that stuff, so I don't know if it's realistic. But it would be kind of cool to see some body damage on a truck. Not gonna lie.
Keep right. After 50 yards, turn right.
All right, pulling into the logistics center here. Might as well come in with the Jake. I like it.
You have reached your destination.
Windows are down. 4-ways are on. Where do they want us? Probably right up here on the left. Let me get out and talk to them. Be right back. Okay, so that is where we're going. Bay 5. Should be pretty simple. Famous last words. No, we're not going to go in reverse yet. That should work. Go ahead and hit the horn. It's a good horn on there. Splitter. Let's go ahead and go stage 2 of the reverse. Probably got a little bit too close to this fence. Yeah, I screwed up. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to unwind myself. I'm not even going to bother with it. We got to go up a little further. I don't need a ton of angle, I just need some angle. Alright, let's try that again. No, I'm still going to be way too close to this fence. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? I mean, even with a cab over, I'm just too close. I guess I pulled it off. That was horrible. That's embarrassing right there. course, we're not between the lines yet. Yeah, I'm still going to have to do a pull-up. Yeah, we'll give it a little turn now. We'll go slow, keep it in reverse 1 this time. We should be able to fix this. Yeah, actually did pretty good there. And let's see if they allow us to bump the dock. Yep, there we go. And we're still green. I like that. I like it when they let us bump the dock. It's realistic. Alright, let's get our four ways off. We'll get our windows up on the left and the right. Parking lights only. And we'll shut her down. Alright. Well, here we are. Welcome to Longview, Texas. And I hope you guys enjoyed the drive. Let me know if you guys have any questions about the truck or the trailer, but especially about the truck, since that's what we featured in the shop today. A little bit of a longer video, but these build and drives are, I like to get you to see it, not only all the details in the shop, but also how it looks and feels out on the road from the inside and the outside. I think it's looking pretty hot from the inside, looking pretty good on the outside. I'm a pretty big fan. I think I'm going to be driving this quite a bit, but let me know if you have any questions. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you can see all my videos, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.